Ready to work. Ready to work. Job done. Ready to job done. Ready to work. Job done. Job
Ready
done.
for action.
Ready to work.
Ready for action.
Ready to
Ready. Our forces are under attack.
Oh, what? He already has a nice tower. What the fuck? At the front.
Job's done.
Ready for action. Our forces are under attack.
I think here once you're done, you only keep 5. Yeah, I don't think you... Okay, that's... You send them back. And I think here you're meant to buy staff before you head across.
Ready to
Because
work.
now, if he shows up with a lot of units, he could staff himself and have a shitload of ghouls here. And then defense becomes more important than killing his gold mine, basically. Because your peasants are like very exposed. Wait. Didn't he impale to surround? Yeah, that shouldn't happen. You really... Like, when it's like that, you need to make it a rule that when your Archmage goes in, you're looking at him only, nothing else.
Our forces are under attack.
Ready
Upgrade
to
complete.
work. Ready to work.
Okay, we got the tech.
Ready to work. Job done.
Ready for action. Our
I think
forces are
this
under
tower is like
attack.
way too far forward. Last time when we studied some Fortitude replay, we saw like he builds like this, like a huge wall, and then the towers are like way back there.
Job's done.
That can make a big difference.
Job done.
Going to racks. You saw him right there, no? Yeah, this is a bit of a suicide mission here. I don't like this. What you're meant to do here is you can go there thinking that you're gonna harass, but if he's there, you cannot go in. If he's not there, then you go in. But yeah, now like the Archmage is way too deep. You have to TP out. This is very not ideal, I would say. We got Mount Tanking second. I think here, if you have a regen active, just put the Archmage here so he doesn't attack, so you don't get bolted. You could have gotten a bunch more HP here in a minute. Yeah, here you're on 51. That's big yikes. Kill one footman instantly.
Ready for action.
Not one peasant because you need lumber.
Job
But yeah, you're gonna spend quite a bit of time on 51. You lost a lot of gold here. And here it's nice to kill a lot of ghouls. You really want to avoid losing your hero or spending too much on scrolls here. I think... Did you buy 2 scrolls? That's a lot, actually. That's a lot of gold that you're meant to save for your tier 3 stuff. Because when you reach tier 3, you get Orb Staff, 3rd Hero, Knight, all upgrades. Jaru upgrades often. You can start some upgrades here. Get 111. Hey, you actually managed this pretty well. Other than for losing the MK.
Forces are under attack.
Wow, that's that's a lot of knights. Yeah, pull back the Archmage here, very important. Absolutely cannot stay there. Once he's 5.
Under siege.
Yeah, here don't target DK. Always go for the Fiends. Once there is no more Fiends, then you can start going for heroes. And ideally, if you can unbind your White Elementals and put them one each on one statue, that's also going to be very good for you. Hey, you were doing well. I actually feel like you should be winning this game here. 68 supply against 64. Okay, something must have gone really bad for you to lose. Yeah, here... I mean, I know you had to TP quickly, so you probably double-clicked, but ideally, if you haven't yet, you absolutely need to bind your inventory hotkeys. Because if you do and you become very comfortable with it, here you could TP on the minimap very easily around here, and then you heal, and then now you're the one doing the fountain. The game is completely different. So now the outlook on the game is like, it's starting to, like, you still have a good supply lead, but you can't use it because you TP it there, then you had to run there, then you had to run there, and now he's already secured a lot of a camp that should have been yours, basically. So yeah, if you haven't yet, find at least the top 2 inventory hotkeys here, because you need those. 1 for TP, 1 for staff. You don't need 6, you don't need 4, you don't need 3, you need 2. You need to master 2, the top 2. Oh no. Yeah, here it's really tough without gyros. I think like once you see this army, you know destroyers do magic damage which goes extra to knights. So they're gonna melt your knights in 1 second. So here, you definitely need to be disengaging. He has a very low fiend count. So what happens here is that you're gonna make like, let's say like 8 gyros. And then once you're gonna have them, they're gonna melt those destroyers and they're gonna give you a shitload of XP. And that's usually when Pala gets 2 or 3. MK gets 3, and then the game is totally different once you have those levels. But here, not a fan that you're still fighting this. You lose 1 more knight. Every unit counts. That's the thing. And then yeah, save this, save this. Make 8 to 10 gyros, then you can re-engage. And you need, okay, you need some upgrades. You only have +1 attack for knights. That's crazy because you were so rich and you had such a good supply count. Remember that the +1 armor attack for both knights or for gyro, it only costs 100 gold, which is nothing. See, you have it right now. So your knight should be 1-1 and your gyro should be 1-1. It's crazy that you don't have more upgrades. He's 1-1, see? He doesn't have crazy upgrades. He's gonna be 2-1 in a sec. So now he gets Crypt Lord level 5. aka Impale level 3.
Job's done.
And for some reason you don't have that many gyros. Yeah, here you definitely have enough knights to deal with these fiends very easily, so you should definitely be more focused on getting more gyros right now. Oh, you didn't have flak cannons yet either. Don't focus hero here. Really, just kill the fiends. Once there's no more fiends, it's like a different game. But here, I would guess this is probably why you lose the game. Because now, like you had a couple mistakes. He managed to equalize the supply and actually get ahead on supply, which is fucking crazy considering how far ahead you were for a minute. I think also you're meant to get second staff eventually, which is very important to save units. So yeah, here, I would almost prefer if you didn't have a scroll, but to be fair, you probably need a scroll against this guy, because his impale is like super crazy. And that's the problem too here, you're massing knights against a unit that counters you and one hero that counters ground so fucking well. So, Fortitude, he plays with triple aviary and double workshop against this style. For that reason, he just goes air. I think you can win with the style that you played, but your play has to be way cleaner. In the fights, you only attack fiends with your knights. They kill them extremely fast. You ideally, if there is not too many destroyers, you can make a white elemental. You don't bind it, you just put it on the statue. And you completely ignore heroes for the most part. When there is no more fiends, then you can go for other things, like the heroes. And this, the more destroyers there are, the more gyros you want to have. Here you need at least 12. And against mana destroyers, it's very hard to fight. Oh wow. Creeps decided to help you. They saw like you were struggling. Nice divine shield. I think here this is the time you pull back. Don't chase this ever, yeah. No point. Yeah, you need those gyros very, very badly. Just rally them to your Archmage. And make sure you remember that you have one here. Like this guy could help out quite a bit. I think here you could have stuck around actually. If your gyros were rallied to your Archmage, you're the one taking this camp. And again, it's still a very different game. He has the one fiend. Look at how many gyros. Gyros pump very fast. That's the thing about them too. So here, this is like when you have too much downtime somehow. And like you let him, you keep letting him catch up with those mistakes, basically. You're the one with all the map control in the world here. You didn't have to run all the way back home. You had the fountain to heal for free. You had enough gyro to deal with his air, and he has no fiends. He has 2 fucking fiends against how many gyros? Okay, nice. You clear out the air, you got some levels from it. But here the problem is, you didn't kill the fiends. I think it's more the fiends you had to be killing. What? Where are you going? Oh, you probably feel like you can finish the game or something. Interesting. Yeah, the problem is that you have low HP units now and you only have 2 knights. You didn't remake Altar yet. I'm not a fan of this counter. I feel like you could have just secured middle, then went, and maybe one hero would be back, but not both of them. And also attacking into undead base is really tough. I almost feel like you'd be better off just securing this. Just send militia now and then take it. Look how much lumber you have. You're never gonna need lumber in this game. So just go 80, go here, make a couple towers, take this base. This fucking Jao is on vacation. I didn't make a TXT fight. I think for this one I'm just gonna speak. Give advice and I'll let you take your own notes from everything that I mentioned. So wait, he instant revived both heroes. Holy shit, this guy is rich. He has no wood. Oh my god. Yeah, here you needed a second staff super early compared to when you got it. I think you... Maybe you could have revived MK. Oh, you got one of the best items as well. Holy shit. I like the upgrades. I think this is probably the better one to get once you're already 1-1-1. Yeah, always pick up the tome. Yeah, careful with this because here, yes, you target the Destro, but look, your units weren't there yet. So now you got everything webbed. Ah, this ulti does so much damage. I think here disengage. Once you use this ulti like this... Man, this fucking Sobi mask, oh my god, he had so much value. Yeah, you cannot fight against this ulti. It does way too much damage. So as soon as he used ulti here, I would have pulled back. And also, don't send the Gyros in alone here. They always must be with your units. Just let this die. You didn't have to save this. Take your time to engage. You could have pulled back the peasants and then done a proper engage. Imagine if you stand here too. If any reinforcement comes in, you catch it. It's just really bad fights. That was the problem. And now you've made enough mistakes to the point where it feels like you cannot win anymore against 6-3-3. When he has this many fins with 2-2. He was actually really nice because he didn't even add much Abom. I think he didn't even make anyone. I don't think so. If he has like one Abom with Disease Cloud here, it's gonna be even harder for you. Not having any Sorceress. And yeah, you end up with way too many peasants. I don't know if you overproduced. Let me see. Yeah, you had 14. Yeah, I mean, that's a good number. But that's the thing. You kinda, like, you had 80 supply, but because you had 14 peasants on lumber, you have 24 total. Your 80 supply is less army. So the way you can convert that into a bigger advantage is if you took this much earlier. So instead of chasing him in his main base, you had double hero down. You just go there, you secure this camp, and then you started making towers early while he's resurrecting. And then by the time his heroes will be back, you have towers here. It's very hard for him to siege that. I think once I have knights like 2-1 or 2-2, I'd be tempted to send one of those here. Because it will still tank a lot and do damage on the acolytes as well. So yeah, here, same deal as earlier. He has too many Gyros compared to your... I personally like to play with Bash also. He has too many Destros compared to your Gyros. And he uses ult. Oh yeah, this is a get the fuck out moment before you die. And yeah, again you go for hero, but the problem with hero nuke is that invulns exist. And here you're kinda toast, because you're broke now. But 180 gold left. He took his expo later than you, so he still has a bit of gold, and he's the one that secured middle. Honestly, I feel like the Fortitude style is kind of hard to pull off, not gonna lie, but maybe you kind of have to go for that air style. But yeah, remember to make it a rule to only target Fiends in the fights. And then here, I think it was the decision making, and a little bit sloppy to sometimes either go attack when you should have crept or go creep. Or like run home and heal when you should have been creeping. Yeah, once it gets to this point, it's very, very hard to win. He's playing right now for the boss. Cucaracha. I think. Oh, you also sent me one against Lich. Fuck, which one is it? That's the one we just watched, isn't it?
Ready to work. Ready to work. Ready to work. Ready to work. Job done.
Ready for action.
Ready to work. Job done. Ready to work.
I feel like your creeping is a little bit...
Ready to work.
Okay, first of all, remember to always make the altar on the way that you're gonna creep. So if you wanna go creep this, make your altar on this side. It's much better, it buys you time. You can use militia, send it there, return to normal peasant mode and then make the altar here.
Ready
I
to
think it's just way more efficient.
ready to work.
I'm not a fan of building the altar on the other side, personally. It loses you a little bit of time, and time is everything in Warcraft 3.
Ready for action.
Ready to work. Job
Ready for
done.
action.
Ready to
Okay, so let's pay attention. Summon the Water Elemental a bit earlier, ideally. And then I think, personally, here I would kill those two first. But yeah, now you summon the Water Elemental in range of the creeps before the militia are close enough to the Archmage that they're going to be able to attack at the same time. So because of that, this guy will take a shitload of damage before you actually start creeping the camp effectively, and then he will die, and then all of this will take damage. So it's a trickle-down effect. Okay, so you almost lose the peasants, you lose another. Then Lich comes to harass. If you do this, it will always get stolen. So you see, I wonder actually, if you make altar on this side, and you creep the camp better, you might actually finish the camp before it's there. I'm not sure, maybe he'll still be there, but you definitely would take less damage on your units.
Our forces are under attack. Ready for all.
Yeah, always prioritize not taking too much damage on the Archmage here if you can. Trying to cut him off. Yeah, the farm was a little late, since you knew that you wanted to expo no matter what anyway. Oh shit, cut him off. Oh my god. And yeah, here always be on the lookout if you really want to insist with the expo. Most undeads will always keep sending units like this to snipe peasants. And then your tower is kind of poorly placed. Like if you want to put the town hall here, then the tower should be there. If you want to put the town hall here, the tower should be there. This is like way too far back. Especially against the Lich. Imagine you make, like, let's say you make town hall here, which is the only thing that makes sense with this tower. You can literally stand there and repeat Nova your peasants without the tower even shooting at the Lich.
Ready for action.
ready to
I think here, if I was you, after the initial expo attempt, he came in Nova 1 creep, you kind of chased him around. Don't chase him around so much. Instead, go creep a little bit. Do these two camps. Like, I would have done this with just units. And then I would have sent 5 militia, done this with 5 militia, and then when it, like, by the time you finish, militia is going to be like, what, 40%, 30% time left. Then I send them there. And then I'm 3, ideally, or like maybe a little, like, let's say 2.8. And then I stay around here with my units. And then I make the expo. And also, like, this might even trick him. He might be like, oh, he's not taking expo for all this time, then he's not expanding. No, like, you're expanding just a little later, closer to level 3. And then if he comes back and harasses, he feeds you 3. And if you're 3 against 2, let me tell you, that's where the fun really is. And this is like that type of decision making that's Fortitude has perfected that he makes human looks like the most insane race right now. This is kind of the same concept as earlier. You go there thinking that if he's on the map, then you can go and harass, but the thing is you don't have nearly enough units to really threaten his base. He already has a nice tower, so it's not that weak. If you knew for a fact that he had just tech to tier 3, like if the game had gone a little better, I think you can commit maybe on Acolytes and like try to kill 2 or 3. But here, I personally don't see you doing any damage. And it's just not going to be worth your trouble. You kind of sack everything and you bring him very close to level 4 without achieving anything. And that's, you know, that's just experience. Like, you should be able to eyeball a base like this and kind of think about what's happened in the game and be like, okay, like this is just not worth it right now. But the way to apply the rule the best is to say, if he's really gone somewhere far on the map, then I can go. But if he's anytime he shows up, whether it's a TP or he walks back, then I'm running out. That's the way I would advise thinking about it when it's like that.
Ready to work.
Oh, you already get second racks.
Ready for action.
Ready to work. Job done.
Research
Job
complete.
done.
Upgrade complete.
It seems like you often buy scrolls. I think against Undead here, you're not meant to buy scrolls because you need gold. You need gold to get everything, like I mentioned before. So in this game, at this stage, you should not have bought a scroll. Stop summoning water elementals. Seems like a destroyer is the best unit against you because you fight a little too much against it. And maybe because of the spot you were in the game, you end up going rifles. Which is tricky to make work, you just didn't have wood also. So yeah, this is a tough game, just because of the difficult start now. You ended up having maybe too few peasants on lumber, or like maybe too late. Then now you kind of got pigeonholed into going for rifles, which is really not ideal. Yeah, you need to use shift. Like, you're already so short on lumber, but those two guys are not mining anymore. Are you stuck, actually? I think... Yeah, maybe you need to open this. To avoid this, just don't wall. Against that dead, I don't think you need to wall, personally. Especially if you know how to tower well. It works in your favor because you can't go in. Yeah, no water elemental. I think when it's like that, when he gets this close to your base, just send all militia. Then try to land a money surround. He has no TP. Holy shit. Imagine you kill this lich now with all militia. You target all ground with all militia and then the rifles go for the Destros. And you have Stonebolts. You could actually had a sick hold if you send all of this. I mean, of course, now he's gonna have Nova 3, so probably not anymore. No. Please don't be stuck. And now you don't have a Sanctum for one priest. Probably don't have the wood for range. And you are even supply blocked, actually. Yeah, you have to make farms in advance here, always. Yeah, that was a rough game. But here's the thing. If you did everything that I explained, like you delayed the expo, you went to crypt this, and then expanded, you also don't overcommit in his base while he's standing there. I think this game is totally different. Don't spend gold on a scroll, you didn't need that, I think. I honestly don't even mind that you went rifles, it's just... You need to use shift on this, make sure you have more lumber, make peasants earlier. Like as soon as your expo finishes against Undead, it's always the same. You figure out when you tech. Like if you really don't have lumber, you keep making some peasants first in your main. And then you see you tech with how many peasants. Ideally, it should be minimum 5 to 6. Once you start your tech to tier 2, you pump a whole bunch of peasants at the expo. We're gonna watch some Fortitude games now, and then you're gonna see the difference in the execution of how flawless this mofo is. Lost Temple, what the? Okay, I think we can just start with the one I got now. Please don't be MK or something. He was Archmage, right? Yeah, okay, nice. Alright, so you see Altar on the side that he's going to be creeping at. This is like, you need to do this religiously.
Job
It's perfect, it's against Lich too.
ready to work.
Ready for action.
Ready to work.
Then he gets the third farm at 21.
Ready for action.
Ready to work.
And then look how it's much more together than where you were playing. Actually, those guys are kind of lagging behind right now. A little bit. He just attacks first.
Job done.
Then he makes the Water Elemental. Once everything's attacking, then he makes the Water Elemental. And he tanked first with the Archmage. That's interesting.
Forces are under attack.
Actually, that's... You know, I don't even do that, so maybe I need to start doing that. I mean, I don't play one-on-one, but in FFA, it's very common to tank the first camp with your Archmage a lot because nobody rushes you ever, and then your Archmage is going to replenish hit points very nicely, and he has 3 armor. Right? So footies only have 2 armor, and also you kind of need to keep them healthy. Peasants, or militia rather, they have 4 armor, but you don't want them to go too low because then they will turn into peasants and they will have 0 armor and half HP and they will just die. He ends up not taking too much damage. Sees that it's a Lich. And because he saw some very low HP ghouls, he's gonna head across, but this is more like of a high level play. Even straight expanding is like,
Ready to work.
you know, it feels a little risky sometimes, but if you're sure the opponent's gonna go Lich, you can do that. Against Creep Lord, it probably wouldn't be as good, I think. But if you have to take a gamble, take it, right? Like if you play an Undead and you don't know if he's gonna go Creep Lord or Lich, you could technically take this gamble, and then if you scout Creep Lord here, maybe you don't expo. You send those back here, you creep this, and then you send Militia, and you creep this with Militia, then you send Militia there, and you take the expo. So you do the thing that I explained last game. But against Lich, actually, straight expo is good. So remember what I explained. He's literally doing what I explained earlier. I haven't seen this game, by the way. He goes there, he harasses, knowing that the Undead is somewhere trying to get level 3. And then as soon as he comes back to defend, he just assumes the Lich right there. He actually kind of got bluffed, because it's not. But he pulls back, because he can't risk losing all of his footies. He's also forcing him to come back by doing that. Because now if the Undead was going across to harass the Expo, then he loses his shop, maybe he loses his shitload of Acolytes. And then you just send Militia to defend the Expo and run back there. It's actually kind of crazy. He's level 2 against level 3 right now. We even have very sick item. What the? It's like a machine gun Lynch. Always grab boots early against Undeads. No matter what, because you will be transferring them to your second hero eventually, and your first hero gets a lot of protection from that. So here, if you were against Elf playing Demon Archer and like grabbing a Naga second, this would be the same thing. You'd be running all the way back there and kind of camping with your tower.
Ready for action.
So here, always like run all the way back, delay the fight as long as you can, and send Militia, but not too many. Don't send all of them. 3 or 4 is like usually the right number. Don't send like, you know, everything. Now if he sent 6, he couldn't even make shop either. Because he's under pressure, I wonder if like if he wasn't under pressure, he might have made the shop here. But now because he's under pressure, he's gonna make it between the main and Expo. Then see, standing as far back as possible, and anything that with mana that comes close, he's gonna drain mana from. And Happy is actually reacting very well to this because he's pulling back now. He sees that there is Militia. Yeah, very high level games. And now he set up the Archmage behind the Mercs to actually snipe the Mercs. He knows that Undead is probably expanding behind this, but it's a very late expo compared to him. Like he's already running the whole time.
Ready for action.
Ready to work.
Yeah, he teched. And then he already had a shitload of peasants at the expo, actually. That's crazy. He's so good at pumping them immediately. I've almost never seen Fortitude lack lumber. And he also religiously gets a shredder eventually. So here he has 5 in the expo. He's probably going to need to transfer some to the gold. And he already has like 4, 5, 6 in the main. So he's already on 11. That's really good number. If he goes up to 13, it's golden. He just needs to get lumber mill there. That's something you need to learn to pay a lot of attention to, because human needs a lot of lumber. Oh my god. Yeah, you play a really reactionary style. Like, you need to learn to flow against Undead. I think that's probably your biggest struggle in this matchup, is that you didn't really know when you should fight or creep. Here, if you're on the siege, you defend. If the opponent's creeping, you can either creep also if you see any interest in that, or you can be the one sieging and harassing him.
Under attack. Ready for action.
But when those little guys are under threat, usually you always prioritize defending them first and foremost. Very sick value here. You should definitely do this. But he's about to be attacked, so you see... I'm sure he would love to do this right now, but then he starts using a lot of peasants. So he always has to set up defensive. He's actually level 2 against 4. So really it's a game of economy for him right now. The only thing he has going for him is that super early expo. What the... This damage is fucking absurd. I actually wonder... I think he will resurrect instantly because he has to kind of catch the mercs. He already has a scroll, and also, yeah, he had MK in here. Interesting. So against Leech, he does triple barracks. And the right timing... Of course, when tier 2 finished, he started tier 3 immediately, then he made MK. The right timing is probably about now. You see, like, before your tech reaches halfway, or even halfway will be okay, you add the 2 racks. Because you're not going to need to use them before you reach tier 3 anyway. And then once you reach tier 3, it's going to be triple knights, then Sundering Blades, and Animal War after. I think that's the reason why it doesn't get only 2. Is that you need to pump 3 knights immediately to really be able to hold very well. And with this, usually you add double workshop. Imagine if he made a few less peasants on lumber. Like, he would be so broke lumber-wise, but now he always makes so many. Now he already lost quite a bit too. Let's check the tech difference. Holy shit, we're not even tier 2. He's almost tier 3. So yeah, happy he's got the level advantage, but here we've got the tech and gold advantage by Fortitude. Look at this gold! 1600! So of course you need to know after that how to like translate that into, or convert that into the correct way to play with it, so that your leads is used well. Okay, tier 3 finishes Pala.
Job's done.
He's waiting. He definitely should make 1 knight. Oh, okay, there we go. 2 knights. I think he maybe wanted to stay on 50, but he has 51. Oh, he's gonna lose this footy. For some reason, he doesn't play with the orb. I don't know why. Definitely has the gold. He's under heavy siege. I think because Happy's tech was so late, he felt like he really had to play super aggro here. But he didn't bring mana pots, he really didn't have that much gold. Oh, he almost trapped him. He ends up staffing. What the... Wait. And he's just pumping pure knights, what the f... I guess he sees it's like a pure merc army and then some fiends. He's like, well, there's nothing else to worry about right now. But eventually there should be destroyers. But it's only 1 slaughterhouse, so he actually countered really well what Happy was doing. Yeah, you meant to add some towers there. Look at this beautiful placement, by the way. He builds the wall around so that it's very hard to reach the tower. Oh, he has only 4. And then he always reacts so well. Now he sees he's not getting sieged anymore for a second. He's like, okay, I can squeeze in an extra camp. So he tries to go for the shop. But runs into Happy, who's also making the right read that Fortitude is going to be there. Now this is a moment... He probably was very tempted to creep this to get some levels for his other heroes, but then he saw those units and he's like, oh, I can punish. I can actually catch all of this. So he catches whatever he can, then goes back to creeping. And with this many knights, you're going to creep extremely fast. Okay, 1 workshop. Second one should definitely be added. And then now I think he knows that he has such a high knight count that in any fight that he takes now, he's going to be doing very well. So he's looking for a big fight. He has 1 scroll. And he put the damage items on the Archmage, Rune Bracers on the MK and Invuln, and then the Pally as a greater healing. So very good spreads. Look how well he macros. He does attack move with a part of his army, and then with 2 knights, he kind of dispatches them to either the mercs or the fiends. There's no hero targeting here. You just want to kill units, get level 3 MK, level 3 Pally, and then you can consider targeting heroes, but even then it's still always better to target units. Look at this sick micro. So he traded as much as he could. And then before stepping on blight and overextending and losing everything, which is what a garbage player like myself would have done here, just right before blaming Undead being imbalanced, he's like, alright, I've done enough. He runs back. This is like a god gamer compared to us mortals. He knows that Undead is not in great shape to fight. He knows he can do this camp and then TP out if he's in trouble. So he goes to grab this. Ends up losing one knight, but not the end of the world. So he TP's home, and this is timing for second staff here. Usually, yeah, there it is. He was kind of getting harassed at the expo at the same time. Upgrade-wise, we're working with 1-1 and then the +1 for Jaros. So he went 1-1-1, just like I explained before. And here the dream is you get 4-3-3. So it's 4-3-2. And he has this camp to get Pally level 3. But, again, you always prioritize defending the peasants. And like here, Undead is coming in heavy, so he's just going to set up over there. From Jaros, I wonder if he might fake here. He might do the dance, yeah. So he's coming in, threatening to attack. And then he waits for IP to be really deep to actually engage. He bolted the Lich, but he didn't drain the mana. I don't like that. When you have two staff here, you're meant to save the first 2 units. So you see, I mentioned you don't target heroes except if they get donated like this. Because he did the dance here a little bit, and then Happy ran in there, and then he engaged into him. Happy panicked a little bit. And he found himself with his DK in the middle of all of this army. Which is obviously very tricky. It's interesting that he didn't have many Jaros, but you have to engage here. You have no choice. If you creep this and then you lose your towers before you were fighting, you just lost the game. So he just read the game super well and he said, okay, I have to protect those towers and my peasants. I'm going to wait until he goes deep here. And then Happy kind of fell for it. I feel like Happy almost could have sieged those 2 workshops, but then he's giving him time to get more units. If you know for a fact that there is only 1 tower, by the way, eventually always send 1 knight here, because you're going to do a carnage. That knight will take forever to die and will kill a lot of workers. So here, see, pretty much, other than the hero that was too far forward, he mostly targets the units. Keeps remaking Jaros. Staffs whenever something's very low. He has a TP here, so it probably felt like he could afford to go further. That's probably why he makes the shop here, is because if he double clicks or he TP's home, then he can use it. Because once upon a time, you will always get that at the expo. Yeah, clarity is when your heroes are really low on mana like this, always clarity. And this game is playing with Bash, mind you, against Lich. And you see, like, there is very minimal hero targeting happening here. Almost always units. Just because they die so fast. Knights are a counter to fiends. They're not a counter to heroes. It's kind of low on lumber the whole game. Clarity. And he's got the 3rd staff now. One thing I would say, I definitely recommend having any sort of aura that you carry on the Archmage, but I guess maybe now he's confident carrying the War Song on his MK because he has Rune Bracers. So that guy is actually very hard to nuke. Here this is like a siege where if you attack from here, it's very hard because there will be a bit of a front line with the DK and whatever. And you will take a lot of damage. So you kind of want to set up from behind and then maybe send 1 or 2 knights from this angle. Sometimes you even send militia. If you have enough lumber or like a shredder here, you can afford to lose a lot of militia. But that's what he threatened, which forced Happy to react and move down. And now he's forced to run back. I don't know why he keeps bolting the Lich. It's a bit bizarre. But he's trying to like force those knights to be on top of the fiends, in which case that's where they're gonna. That's why Happy's kiting. Like the fight started over here, it moved there, and then now he ran all the way back there. And see, he re-engages when he has at least the DK here at the front, doing some sort of blocking. Wow. Okay, that was bad. He used the Holy Light on a Fiend here to finish it. He almost got baited. Because immediately after his MK got targeted and he didn't use Invuln on time. So avoid doing that. It's unnecessary here. I mean, I think he was kind of going to ace the fight if he didn't do that. As you can see, even the best can make mistakes. He added a Sanctum. I think this is probably because you're going to need it against an Abom or Banshee transition. Against an Abom or two. Wait, there's an Abom. Holy shit. You want to make a Sorceress usually. But here his Knight count was massively reduced, so I don't know if he'll actually add one. But I think, like, let's say he would have 60 or 70 already, and he would see an Abom. I think you add one Sorceress. Because you're going to slow the Abom, do extra damage to it. And then you have Jaros to counter whatever destroyers are there as well. So it's not like the Undead can counter slow very well or Sorceress. He probably thought that his MK was like too invincible over there because he had the Rune Bracers. But against physical damage, he still takes the same. That's a very, very close game.
I await.
Yeah, good read again. Interesting. I would be very tempted to go Brilliance level 3. But I think because he has Jaros, or usually you're meant to have enough Jaros to counter Destroyers, he went Water level 3.
I await your
Is this
command.
done? No, it's not. Oh, I think... Oh, what a read. Okay, so he scouted and he saw Happy move to the left.
Forces are under attack.
He was like, okay, I gotta get in position. A lot of peasants died this game, that's for sure. Actually, he has less supply right now. Holy shit. He's always looking for the best engagement possible. Secures one Fiend before the TP goes through.
Are under attack.
How much gold? 2k. Remember, Happy took his expo later. But I guess so many peasants died that he was mining less. There's actually a lot of camps left. Like this and this.
Forces are under attack.
I wonder if maybe he could have just done this and then TP'd back to defense. That would have been very important XP. Not only would have gotten the camp, he also would have denied Happy the XP from it.
We have lift.
Funny, he never used the Sanctum. And now this is a very scary army to fight against.
We have liftoff. Our gold mine is running low.
Upgrade-wise, we're still at 1-1, and then here it's just 2-1, so... If you're trading a lot of units, or like fighting a lot and then you're losing units constantly, I guess you don't replace... Or you don't continue with the upgrades. If you would be doing better in the fights though, it definitely would be worth it to add more upgrades. I think next, probably the +2 armor, because it benefits everything. Okay, look at the fight. Happy immediately disengages. He likes to open the fight with a bolt on the Lich. I think that's because if Happy would run with everything except the Lich, then the Lich would be in huge danger of dying. And also he prevents the Lich from attacking and applying the orb effect for a little bit. Or like Novaing even sometimes. Yeah, great kiting and re-engage. He knew he needed to get the Abom out of there ASAP, so he did that. And yeah, this is where you go Water level 3, I guess, in this scenario. Because he has so many Jaros that they clear out the Destroyer. And once that's done, the Water Elementals are actually very useful. Wait, Happy's actually all in. Oh wait, no, he's not. What the fuck?
Town is under siege.
Yeah, always pay attention to... oh shit. Always pay attention to Divine Shield timing. What the... He stole the rod. Oh, he had full inventory, I think. He was trying to transfer something. That's a crazy game. In this scenario, you're meant to always resurrect Archmage, but because he has no gold here, he actually had to restart it from the altar. This is a bit of a disaster scenario. Look, Water Elemental on the statue, Skeleton on the statue, because he's... We found the fucking Rod of Necromancy! What the fuck? And then that triple staff is really your lifeline. You're saving so many units all the time with the triple staff. I think this is probably what's going to win him the game here, although he was way behind supply-wise. He keeps saving units every time they get nuked. They're on 1 HP. They go home and then they come back with full HP. They pretty much could tell this was taken. Oh my god, he's almost 5. That's huge. He gets... Yeah, he's 5-5 now. And Archmage is almost back out. Imagine this game if he didn't make the mistake of losing his MK earlier. Like, he would be long over. And yeah, here we are on mana on the DK, so... That Lich gonna be night-night real soon. Yeah, he can tell Undead will probably run back there, so immediately evacuates. He knows he can group up, like now he has Brilliance active on everything. And this is kind of wild, because neither has economy, but Undead can unsummon and remake a gold mine and kind of camp it. But obviously we'll all come down to one last fight here. But yeah, when Human gets 5-5-5, I mean, Undead is usually quite a bit of trouble if they don't have AMS in particular. Oh wow, this was still there. Probably hoping for like a greater healing or like a big HP. He gets healing wards. If there is no Destro, it'll come in handy. I always triple staff like this, your injured Gyros. On this map, the long distance mining is actually bugged. It's kind of shit. And I'm guessing he bought an invuln here. So he's carrying a lot of invulns to make sure he doesn't lose his heroes in like 1 second. Yeah, those knights can't be countered now because he has staffs. He has 3 staffs. So it feels like Undead only can target heroes, but the problem is that there is Holy Light level 3 and Rune Bracers, which he actually put on the Archmage now. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Holy shit, he only has 650. That's crazy. MK has 1075 hit points and Archmage has 650. So, yeah. I mean, you're looking at those numbers, you definitely should have Rune Bracers on the Archmage. He lost it super fast earlier, he cannot lose it anymore. I think if his Archmage had like at least 900 HP, maybe leave that on the MK. If you can get 5-5 MK in Pala, you're usually in quite good shape. That's kind of what happened here. And yeah, he ends up winning this game. Holy shit, that was a wild one. But yeah, a lot to be learned from this. It just flows so well, you know? He was behind level-wise, but I think he identified perfectly that it was just like a huge rush with a lot of mercenaries. All he had to do was defend, get a lot of knights. He reacted on time with enough gyros. Good item spread. He went to creep at the right time, and he really prioritized the defense here initially. Very, very well. And he applied what I mentioned earlier. Like, you pressure, but if Undead's around to defend, then you run away. Big takeaways from that. But, you see, if you fight clean and you target units, knights chop up fiends very, very quickly. And then gyros kill destroyers. It's all about having the right mix. Always make a gyro pretty early, scout with it. He scouted a ton with his gyros. He always got perfect info.